I heard there was this podcast, yo, about something funny like wrestling and so. And you really care about wrestling, don't you? There are drop kicks and leases all over the board, and then something called a wrestling hold. It's a super duper fun podcast about wrestling. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. That wrestling show. Well, Fro and Bill and maybe a guest or two is here to hold your hand and guide you through a podcast about wrestling. We have a lot of extreme fun, and that without the gun, because I needed something to rhyme fun with. That wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show, that wrestling show. Well, sit your behinds gently down and listen to our podcast sound and try to guess this week's pro question. You win a lot of cool things and also help Bill with his bills. That's a super duper fun competition. That wrestling show. 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 That wrestling show.
Hello, everybody. Fro and I, we just literally finished, watching the greatest Royal Rumble event. Early thoughts before we dive deep into the show, Fro.
That was a fun show.
Oh my gosh. That was really fun. I think it should happen again next year. I mean, obviously I'm not for the, like, against the women thing, but it was a fun show all around, beginning to end. So, there we go. So what we're going to do is, we are going to talk about this show. By the way, welcome to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. This is actually a first. I have never done a podcast where we've gone right into recording after the show hit. Or no, wait a minute. No, let me take that back. What's its name? Wrestle Kingdom. That was the other one.
But we didn't. We had some breaks.
That's true. That's true. We did have breaks. So
we literally just ended the biggest Royal Rumble ever.
Yeah.
And I must say, I think the winner of this year's Royal Rumble is Titus O'Neil. I think that's the winner for me this year.
That
if
poor
you have
man.
not seen that GIF, that is one amazing fucking botch. I have never laughed so fucking loud in my entire life.
That poor man.
So should we explain what happened?
We'll get to it when we get to the Rumble.
Okay.
But let's go through each of the matches, give our thoughts, and we also have grades from CBS Sports, not from ESPN, and obviously not from Meltzer, because Meltzer releases that on Wednesday, so we're not going to worry about that. Opening match was Triple H against John Cena.
Mm-hmm.
That was the opening match. What did you think about that one?
A good opener. Was funny when Triple H did the 5-knuckle shuckle. That was fun. I liked Triple H giving the win to John Cena here. This was a really, really good opener. I didn't think this match was going to be as good as it was.
Mm-hmm.
It went the right way. The entertainment factor of it was pretty good. And yeah, I can't really say anything really bad about the match, other than that it felt maybe a little short, even though it went for almost 30 minutes. And that's a good way.
Do I have a time? I don't think I have an official time on it, but I'm not going to worry about that.
No, but almost. I think it went around 30 minutes.
This was a really good opening match, and it really set the pace of the show, I thought. Because this actually broke like an hour and a half before the show began that this was going to be the opening match of the event. It was really good. I thought it was a really good opening match. And you could tell from both of these guys that this meant something. This event meant something. And I think that both of them knew going into this match that they had to have a very solid, good match to get this show going. Because if you don't...
And I mean, John Cena is no pussy. And I mean, I liked it. I liked it very good.
Yeah.
I thought the match was great.
Yeah, it was a very good opening match. Cena got the win. After that, he said that he would not have missed this night for anything in the world. I gave this a B.
I gave this a B+.
All right. CBS Sports gave this a C+. Then we had our next match, the first of 7 title matches. Kalisto challenging Cedric Alexander for the Cruiserweight title. Another good match.
Mm-hmm.
This was just another very good match. Right after the opening match, it was just good back and forth, told a very good story. Kalisto looked very good. Cedric Alexander looked good in this match. And I know the fans were quiet in this match, but I have my thoughts, my theory about this a little later. But
sorry.
It was a good match. I really enjoyed this match, and you can tell over the last several months, especially WrestleMania being a good example, that now that the focus is not storyline and more wrestling based, that they're having more fun in the ring.
Yes.
Cedric got the win with the lumbar check to retain the Cruiserweight title. I also gave this match a B.
Yeah, I gave this a B as well.
Alright. And CBS Sports also gave this a B, so we are all pretty unanimous on that one.
Yep.
Then we had the match for the Raw Tag Team titles to fill the vacancy. Bray Wyatt and Matt Hardy against Cesaro and Sheamus.
It was the best of the tag team matches.
Yeah, it was. It was. And this was where we had a little bit of a cool down period, I thought.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I mean, it isn't anything to write home for, but I mean, the result was good, and I like the winners of being broken, of course.
And you sort of knew who it was going to be, I think, ahead of time.
Yeah. It was a little too obvious, maybe, but, I mean, it was a good match. It was definitely a C+.
I gave this a C. And CBS Sports gave this a C-. So we're all not too far away.
Well, we're around the C.
Yeah, around. Then we had the U.S. title match, Jeff Hardy defending against Jinder Mahal, and...
Oh, this was so fast.
It was fast, and you could tell that this was, like, the least important match of the show.
Yeah. No, this was just awful. This was the worst match of the night.
There was one point, and I don't know if you caught this or not, Fro. Jeff Hardy went for a whisper in the wind, and...
Yes, and they said the wrong fucking thing, yeah.
No. He missed the move, Mahal moved out of the way, Jeff just landed on the mat, and then Mahal's like, ugh! He just, like, was like, I ate it. Even though he didn't really get touched at all. Jeff Hardy got the win.
You're not as bad as Titus O'Neil blunder. So
Oh no. I gave this a D+.
Oh, I gave this a D.
Alright. CBS Sports gave this a D+. Then we had a little intermission, and I mean, what would you say, 15 minutes, Fro? Where it was just talking?
Yeah, 10-15 minutes.
Yeah. Then we had the SmackDown Tag Team title match, the Usos challenging the Bludgeon Brothers. I'll say this. I like the Usos. And I like Luke Harper. Eric, and you know what? Eric Rowan, he was good in this match tonight. But this it just didn't click today.
Oh no, it didn't click at all.
It did not really click at all.
I mean, this just felt like really, really bad anal sex. So, I mean...
Okay.
I wasn't there, yeah.
Bludgeon Brothers ended up getting the win. I gave this a C-. What would you give this match?
Oh, really?
Yeah. A C-.
Yeah. I will go with you.
Okay. CBS Sports also gave this a C-. Then we went from that to the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Seth Rollins.
So good.
Seth Rollins defending against Samoa Joe, Finn Balor, and The Miz. This was a really good ladder match. This was really good. Very well done. I thought the pace of it was good. The timing went well. They didn't have to do the crazy high spots to get themselves over. It was constructed very well, I thought. And then the ending was great.
Oh, such a good ending.
Because...
And such out of nowhere.
It really was! Now, that's the definition of out of nowhere, Michael Cole, if you listen to this. I doubt he does, but... So, Finn climbs the ladder to go to retrieve the title. All of a sudden, here comes Seth Rollins, springboards off the top rope onto the ladder, gets like 2 steps ahead of Finn, and unlocks the belt to get the title and keeping the title. It was a great finish. A great finish to that match.
Yes. Great finish.
And something that we all noticed after the match was that Finn Balor was bleeding from right above the eye. And what had happened was, when you watch the replay, he caught the edge of the Intercontinental title, like a piece of the edge of the title, right on his eye. And that's how he got... Yeah.
Looked awful.
It looked bad, but...
But this was such a great match.
It was really good.
A little out of nowhere, the ending, but I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
This gets a B+ for me.
I gave this a B. Almost a B+. CBS Sports gave this a B+. Then we had a segment with four participants from the tryout in Saudi Arabia. Their names...
This was kind of funny.
This was a good segment. Their names were Nassar, Hussein, Mansoor, and Faisal. And as they were talking, the Daivari brothers came out, Araya and Sean Daivari. And they had the Iranian flag, and, you know, that just gets you instant heat right there. And the Arabian wrestlers beat up the Daivari brothers. It was a good segment, though. Then we had the WWE title match, Shinsuke Nakamura and AJ Styles.
Yeah.
This was another good match. Oh, this was
really good.
This was really good. This was better than the match they had at WrestleMania, I thought.
Oh, much better. It told a good story. And it felt like Shinsuke Nakamura was there, for fuck's sake.
And
it was much better.
And
it was like good anal sex.
Okay. And it was just good wrestling, good storytelling. Nakamura had the low blow, and I thought that was going to be it. I thought he was going to win the title. But Styles had his hand on the rope. And then the ending of the match, I know there are some people who are a bit disappointed in the ending of this match, but I'm going to explain why I liked it in a minute. Both men ended up on the outside. They just fought all over. They landed on the Arabic announce table. Yes, there was an Arabic announce table for this event. And both guys got counted out of the ring. The reason why I liked the ending, 2 reasons. Number 1, in this way, you'd have honestly no cheap way out of this match. Because it's like, oh, Shinsuke got beat by AJ again. He doesn't deserve another title shot. Or, you know, Shinsuke won by disqualification. He wins, but he doesn't win the title. A count-out does good both ways because, number 1, Styles keeps his title, and number 2, Nakamura, even though he didn't win, he also didn't lose. And he comes off really good, I thought. I gave this a B.
Oh, this was a B+ for me.
CBS Sports gave this a B-. Then we had the casket match. Rusev versus The Undertaker.
This was okay. I mean, it wasn't anything amazing.
Right.
It was cool to see The Undertaker. They botched the spot where the Rusev was going to go on into the casket, and you saw that he had to push himself down in the casket. So that was kind of fucking stupid, because you saw that he took part of and pushed himself down.
Yeah.
So the camera was on him when he pushed himself down in the fucking casket.
Yeah.
That was stupid. But I like the Aiden English spot where Aiden English comes into the ring and tries to get another Undertaker.
Oh my
And that's
gosh.
the first head shot.
Yeah, like the last 3 matches are gonna all have headshots, because
Yeah.
Undertaker puts a tombstone on Aiden English, and his head, I swear, if you haven't seen it yet, go check this out after you listen to us. His head bounced like a basketball. I don't think I've ever seen.
I think that was maybe it should be rated R.
I mean, I've never seen anybody's head bounce like that from a tombstone, and that guy's been doing that move for almost 30 years. So for that to be the first time I've seen that, that's actually a pretty good track record for Undertaker. This was pretty much, here's the Undertaker. He's probably not wrestled in Saudi Arabia ever, and if he has, not too much. So it's a rare once-in-a-lifetime appearance. I gave it a C.
Oh, this was a C, definitely.
Alright. And CBS Sports also gave it a C. And then we go to this match. The cage match for the Universal title. Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar.
That was so much better than I thought it was going to be on paper.
Oh, it was a lot better. It really was.
Oh, so much better than I thought it was going to be.
It was just...
I thought maybe this was going to be a walkover for either Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar, but we get a controversial ending.
Yes, we do. Now, Luke, I do want to mention this, Luke from Another Digital Citizen joined us for the second half of the show. Yes. So we got to watch the cage match, and it's a good match. And we're explaining to Fro at one point, because Reigns is trying to escape over the top of the cage, and Fro's like, no, I don't want him to. That's not a clean finish. And we're like, Fro, that's one of the ways to win the match.
And I goes, but I want them to win either for pinfall or submission.
Right.
And then Luke goes, you can never win for the pinfall in the match.
Yeah.
Like that.
So,
and I go, I don't think that is the case.
So, yeah, like Fro mentioned, we did have a very controversial ending, and it was great, the reaction. Because Roman Reigns, he's hit like 3 spears in a row on Lesnar. Lesnar is on one of the walls of the cage. Reigns comes running from one side of the ring to the other, hits this spear on Lesnar, and as he hits it, the wall that Lesnar is on of the cage breaks, and both men go through it. They both land on the outside, and it ends up with Lesnar being declared the winner. Very controversial. And because we were saying, or at least I was saying, for as long as I can remember, the rule is the first person whose both feet hit the floor first is declared the winner. When you watch the replay, Lesnar's feet never hit the floor first. Reigns did. So there you could have a legit arguing point storyline wise that, hey, Reigns got robbed on this one.
Yeah.
Because they were going by, Lesnar's body hit the floor first. So Lesnar's the winner. So it was a good match with a bad ending. I didn't like the ending that much.
I liked it. I loved the ending.
Okay. I gave this a C+.
Oh, this is a C+.
Alright. CBS Sports gave this a B+.
Oh, no. No.
Nine. Okay.
No.
Nine.
No.
All right.
Nine.
Okay, we're gonna get all German here.
Or Norwegian.
Or Norwegian, yes.
Yes.
Tuesdays, Michael Weatherly.
There we go. So now after that, now comes the featured match of the evening, the greatest Royal Rumble. 50 men. There are highlights in this, folks. There are plenty of highlights in this. And we're going to get to the best one in a little bit.
I love that.
Oh, my lord. So,
Yeah.
the first two entries are Daniel Bryan at number 1 and Dolph Ziggler at number 2. So again, WWE does a good job of putting, the first two out to start the match.
And Bryan was the one that was in the Royal Rumble the longest.
Yeah, he actually set the record for longest performance in one match.
Yes.
So, I'm just gonna go through, some pinpoints of position because we're not gonna go through everybody.
No.
3 through 6 in order: Sin Cara, Curtis Axel, Mark Henry, and Mike Kanellis. And Kanellis had a funny moment where, as he was coming out, he was looking at the back and was waving.
For Maria.
Right, and he's like, "Oh, that's right, you're not there." And
I totally forgot that Maria was
either
there.
he forgot or it was a prank and it was set up really, really well.
Yeah.
And then number 7. And I think this is one of the few times, as a fan, where my knowledge failed me. Because I did not know this
Everybody
person.
said, who the fuck is this?
Exactly. It is, at number 7, Hiroki Sumi. And
Yes.
from what the commentators were saying, he is a sumo wrestler.
And why was he in fucking Saudi Arabia? Isn't, Saudi Arabia and Japan is pretty far away from each other, for fuck's sake.
From what I know, like they said, he's a sumo wrestler. He's won over 200 sumo matches in his career. And
So what?
that's really it.
Wrestle.
That's really it. Oh, okay, I gotta read this tweet real quick. This is from WWE Creative Humor, who wrote, Hiroki Sumi is Japanese for, "No, I'm not Yokozuna."
That's funny.
Yeah. So
That's funny.
so we have the
on.
confrontation with Sumi and Henry. Eventually Sumi gets eliminated by Henry, and then Henry gets eliminated by Ziggler and Bryan. 8 through 11 was Victor, Kofi Kingston, Tony Nese, and Dash Wilder. Then one of the bigger pops of the night, number 12, Hornswoggle. He got a huge pop, Fro.
Oh, so good with
The crowd was going crazy. And then one of the funniest lines of the night, as Fro rolls his R's, went to Corey Graves. who described Hornswoggle as, "Oh, he's going to be very hard to eliminate. He's 3'9", 420 pounds."
They fucked it up.
Oh man, that was great. To go along here, 13 through 19 was Primo Cologne, Xavier Woods, Bo Dallas, Kurt Angle, Scott Dawson, Goldust, and Connor. Then number 20 was Elias.
So good.
And
Elias was so good in this.
He put in quite a good performance in this match.
Oh, he was really, really good.
He really did.
So good.
Nothing, to be ashamed of here. He had how many eliminations did he? He had 5. He had 5 eliminations in this Rumble.
He was really good.
Very good. 21 was Luke Gallows. 22 was Rhino. And during that match, we learned that Fro does not like Rhino's beard. Then tell everybody why you don't like the beard.
Because he stole the gimmick from me. Yeah, he stole my beard.
Yep. So after Fro Jr. came in, 23 was Drew Gulak.
That's what she said.
Oh.
After Fro Jr. came in, that's what she said.
The bum bumps.
Okay, yes?
Yeah, 23 was Drew Gulak. 24, Tucker Knight from NXT. 25 was Bobby Roode. And then, this was great. 26 is Fandango. And there's this, 30-second, talking between Cole and Corey Graves. And Michael Cole's like, "Oh, it's Fandango of Breezango." And Graves is like, "Oh, you must have a premonition like Matt Hardy." And Cole's like, "No, I saw his name on the screen, you fool." Oh my god, this was so much fun. Oh my gosh.
Corey Graves is amazing.
Oh my lord. Okay, so 27, Chad Gable. 28, Rey Mysterio. And Mysterio looked good. Mysterio did look good there. 29, Mojo Rawley. 30, Tyler Breeze. And we had the second funniest moment of the Rumble match. Where, and this part was scripted. The other one was not.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Breeze comes in, and I think, it was Corbin. No, Rawley. Rawley throws him over the top.
Rawley eliminates him right away.
Well, yeah, but Fandango catches him.
Yeah.
So Fandango takes Breeze, and he puts him back on the apron. Well, the problem is he put him on the same side where he was eliminated the first time, and Mojo was just there, and he just eliminated him. So, way to go there, Fandango. 31 was Big E, 32 Carl Anderson, 33 Apollo Crews, 34 Roderick Strong from NXT. That was a nice surprise. 35 Randy Orton to a huge ovation. I mean, huge ovation. It was as if it was 2010 again.
Yeah.
36 Heath Slater, and then number 37. 37, the best named wrestler, not only of this match, but maybe in the history of the Royal Rumble, Babatunde. Number 37. Babatunde.
Have we skipped? Oh, there's 50.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, have we skipped Stefano Pop?
Nope. Oh no. We're close. We're very close. So after Babatunde enters, number 38 is Baron Corbin. Let me get a drink real quick, because there's going to be a lot of laughter.
Gentlemen, while he takes a drink, you can also check out another podcast called Another Digital Citizen.
Yep.
Another Digital Citizen on iTunes. It's a really good show. where we last week talked about something really fun.
All right. I had to stall there because this. Oh my god. We all died. Okay, so we have to set the scene up. So the buzzer goes off. 30.
We talk about, by the way. Yes.
39 is Titus O'Neil.
Oh,
So Titus O'Neil comes running down the aisle. And now I gotta explain this to everyone.
Oh my god.
Every time someone runs down to the ring and then they go back to the hard camera. Well, we go back to the outside. Here's O'Neil underneath the ring. And we're like...
And we didn't understand how he came into under the ring.
No,
like, we didn't understand why he was under the ring because we didn't see what happened.
Because I think Luke was the one who pointed it out, and he's like, "What is he doing there?"
What going under the ring? Yeah.
And I just said, just to say it. Oh, I think he slipped under the ring. Well, we see the replay, and Titus trips over a part of the mat, and he goes sliding under the ring.
It is maybe the best gift I have ever seen in my entire life. I've never seen a wrestler fall as ungraceful as he fucking does. And the way he slides under the ring.
He slid like a baseball player.
It's so amazing. If there's one spot of the Royal Rumble please go and see this. This is so fucking funny.
And they show the replay like 5 times.
And over again.
And
you hear in the background, you hear Corey Graves going, well, that wasn't supposed to happen.
And the three of us, we're all laughing, and I'm crying in laughter. And when I laugh in crying, it is a sight to see. That poor man. Poor Titus. That's going to be his claim to fame forever. Unfortunately. That is going to be his claim to fame forever. But I will say this, though. He would have passed a tryout for any Major League Baseball team with that slide today. Oh, my gosh. Alright, so to continue on, number 40, Dan Matha. We were still laughing from Titus O'Neil to not even notice who Dan Matha was, so I apologize to Dan Matha. 41, Braun Strowman, and this is where the eliminations start to come, because he starts eliminating
holy shit,
everybody.
It was amazing.
Yeah. He was really good. 42 was Ty Dillinger, 43 was Kurt Hawkins, and when Hawkins saw that Braun was the only one in the ring, he did not want to be in the ring. 44, Bobby Lashley. 45, The Great Khali. And boy, if you thought Undertaker walked slow to the ring, him and Great Khali in a walking race, that, I'd bet my money on a snail, folks. 46, Kevin Owens. 47, Shane McMahon. 48, Shelton Benjamin. 49, Big Cass. And the 50th and final entrant was Chris Jericho. The final 3, because that's what it showed up to be at the end, the final 3 came down to Braun Strowman, Daniel Bryan, and Big Cass. Daniel Bryan, who had been chopped and punched and everything, he had marks all over his chest and underneath his arms. He put in a heck of an effort, but Big Cass eliminated him at the end, and it came down to Big Cass and Braun, and it was sort of academic at that point. Braun Strowman eliminating Big Cass to win the greatest Royal Rumble.
I am going to give this match
Hey, whoa,
an E+.
Alright.
I love this Royal Rumble.
This match was so fun.
Yeah.
This was so much
Really
fun.
good pacing as well.
Yeah, it really was. And that's something that we talked about towards the end.
Mhm.
Was how with not only this match today, but the men's match from January and the women's match, all three of those matches were fantastic.
Yeah.
They
And
all
it had surprises big enough where I can say, oh my fucking god, that's amazing. I think my favorite thing was definitely Hornswoggle coming out. That was such a big surprise. I did not think of him at all. And Braun winning the whole thing felt like a pat on the back to Braun saying, thanks for all the things you've done for us.
Yeah,
so
this
far.
last year, this amazing last year.
Thank you for this last year. Here's actually something you can win.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they have a superstar in him.
Oh God, yeah.
I think they have the biggest thing since John Cena in Braun. And if he goes injury-free, he will be one of the greatest wrestler in WWE history.
Fro, I'm going to even go further than that. I'm going to say if Braun Strowman can avoid serious injury, and I mean, and what I mean by a serious injury, I mean a year-long injury, like an ankle, like a broken ankle, a tear in the knee or the leg.
Yeah.
He's going to end up, I'm just going to say it right now, he will be the greatest big man in the history of professional wrestling. Better than Andre, better than Big Show, better than Undertaker. If he can stay healthy, because you could tell he's, very serious about, his conditioning.
And he loves doing it.
Exact. That's the thing.
It's so obvious watching him that he loves doing what he's doing.
That is the thing. He loves it. He's going to end up being the greatest big man of all time. I gave this match an A. It was just so good. CBS Sports
I gave this an
A+. CBS Sports gave this a B+. Now, something that... Now, normally with most Royal Rumble matches, I will keep track of eliminations. Today, I didn't do it. But I want to point this out. And we may be one of the first podcasts to say this, Fro. Not only today did Daniel Bryan set the record for longevity in one Royal Rumble match, Braun Strowman set the record for most eliminations in one Royal Rumble match.
Good.
He eliminated 13 men today to win the Royal Rumble, the greatest Royal Rumble. So, now before I read a couple of funny notes from PW Insider and Meltzer, all in all, your thoughts on the show, and what grade would you give this show?
Oh, this is a B show.
High B?
This is definitely B. Oh, B+, yeah.
What were the things that you really liked about the show today?
I think the two first matches really amazed me. Both John Cena and Triple H went to town, and that Cruiserweight Championship was amazing. I also had fun with a lot of other matches, and I think the three last matches was amazing.
I'm going to say this. I really enjoyed the first two matches. The first two matches were very good. It's worth going out of your way, folks, to see those two.
Oh, definitely.
The three that followed had to be in that spot. Because if you were going to put other matches after that and then put those matches in between, it would have been very hard for them to go with.
Oh, definitely.
I think they did a very good job with the order of the card.
I agree.
And one thing I will say is, and this is a word that I used when we talked about WrestleMania, Fro. Fun. This was a fun show to watch from beginning to end. Yeah, there was one not so good match, and the ending to one or two might raise a couple eyebrows, but in the end, the good outweighed the bad. So I'm going to give this a very high B. A B. Yeah. I agree with you. I'd give it a B+. Okay, so I have to read a couple sentences talking about Titus O'Neil's entrance. This is from Mike Johnson, PW Insider. Titus O'Neil came out at 39. He tripped and fell head first through the apron. It was hilarious. Graves and Cole lost it, and rightfully so. That, in a nutshell, is Titus. Cole said it may be the greatest moment in Rumble history.
Yeah.
And then after the next two sentences, he writes, they replayed Titus's header again. Hilarious. They showed it again. It's awesome. And then Dave Meltzer wrote, Titus O'Neil ran in the ring, and in an amazing spot that can never be duplicated, somehow tripped and slipped all the way under the ring. I am still trying to recover from that. Oh, man. I feel so bad for him. I mean, it was funny. Don't get me wrong. It was funny. I felt bad for him, but oh my god, it was so funny. It really was. Well, we spent a lot of time talking about the greatest Royal Rumble, and rightfully so. I have not a lot of other news. I want to mention one interesting note, and then I want to talk about the Impact pay-per-view.
Because it's really soon midnight, hint.
Yeah, it is for you. No, but I wanted to talk about this piece of news that came out today. You guys have, in Norway, a boys and girls club, right?
Sure.
Okay. Well, Hulk Hogan is going to be among 9 people to be inducted into the Boys and Girls Club Alumni Hall of Fame for the class of 2018. The ceremony will take place next week in San Diego.
Can I just say that this fucking stupid?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
Hulk Hogan shouldn't be nominated for anything, that fucking racist old bag.
Well, we gotta remember, this is them as kids going to the Boys and Girls Club after school. I know, you're not buying into that, but...
Nope.
I know. But Hulk Hogan is going in with and I'm not going to say the names of the people because you're not going to know them, Fro. An Emmy Award-winning journalist, a Department of Defense senior program analyst for community and family policy, an Orlando Magic executive, a 2-time NBA champion, an NFL Hall of Famer, a global multi-platinum recording artist, an Army Lieutenant General, and an Olympic gold medalist snowboarder.
Okay, who's the artist?
The artist is Jason Derulo.
Oh, I heard of him.
Okay. Then I'm not going to mention the others because you wouldn't know them. If I said them, you'd be like, who? I know you. I know you well enough. It would be wrong of me if I did not talk about the Impact pay-per-view from the other night.
Yes.
Redemption. I did see it. It was not as bad as the one that Fro saw a few months back.
Glory. Oh.
Let me put in my thoughts on this show. Opening match was Drago and Aerostar. It was a good lucha match. But there were times where they were sloppy. And Aerostar ended up winning the match. I gave that match a C. It was a good match, but it was a little too sloppy at times. Then the Impact Tag Team titles were on the line. LAX fought Eli Drake and Scott Steiner. And the highlight of the match, and I gotta give him credit, was Scott Steiner at 50 plus years old hitting a Frankensteiner from the top rope into the ring. I have to give him credit. That was amazing for him to do that. Eli Drake and Scott Steiner won, became the new tag team champions. I gave that match a C. Then we had a 6-way match with Trevor Lee, Taiji Ishimori, Desmond Xavier, DJ Z, El Hijo del Fantasma, and Brian Cage. Two things I want to point out before I give my thoughts on the match. One, the DJ Z horn is so freaking annoying. Because it's like, every time he says his name, he's like, DJ! And it's like, oh, it was so annoying, Fro. Oh, it was annoying. And the other thing, Desmond Xavier looked really good. He looked really good. This is going to be someone you guys keep an eye on for a while. He's going to be a breakout star. I'm calling it now. Brian Cage ended up getting the win in that match. Then we had Taya Valkyrie against Kira. I gave the 6-way a B, by the way. Then we had Taya Valkyrie against Kira Hogan. This was the worst match of the show. This was not that good of a match. But during the match, there was a saving grace. Tessa Blanchard went to commentary, and the commentators were Josh Matthews and Don Callis. And my God, how I would pay money to have any other commentating crew for this show except Matthews and Callis. It was that bad. But Tessa Blanchard was great as, with her character during the match. The match was forgettable. The match really was forgettable. Taya got the win. I gave this a D. Then we had the X Division title match, Petey Williams challenging Matt Sydal. This was another good match. This was a good match. Petey Williams hit the Canadian Destroyer, but Sydal rolled out to the ring when he was going to go for the pin, which was a big moment. Matt Sydal hit the Shooting Star Press at the end to get the win. A solid match, I thought. I gave this a B-. Then we had the House of Hardcore match. OVE of the Christ brothers, David Jake, and Sami Callihan against Eddie Edwards, Moose, and Tommy Dreamer. This was just a good old-fashioned blood match. Just a lot of fighting, weapons galore. But the ending I didn't like, because Eddie was gonna go after Sammy, but Tommy came in to make the save. He had a barbed wire bat. He went to swing at Callahan, missed. Callahan rolled Dreamer up to get the victory for his team. However, after the match, Eddie Edwards starts going apeshit, and he takes out everybody. He takes out Sammy Callahan. He tapes him up to the ropes, and he's gonna hit the crap out of Callahan. And the members of OVE, they try to make the save, but they get beat up. Dreamer tries to stop Eddie Edwards, and he gets pushed down. And then here comes Eddie Edwards' wife. And Eddie, not knowing she's behind him, he swings and he hits her and he knocks her out. And it's really well done. But Fro, this is what killed me. The fans.
What killed you?
The fans. After he accidentally hits his wife, no more than 2 or 3 minutes later, you hear a few small chants of, "Wife beater, wife beater, wife beater, wife beater." And I just rolled my eyes and I'm like, you have got to be shitting me. That's what turned me off from this pay-per-view, was the commentating and the fans. Oh, it was so... those people who said that are tasteless. They are tasteless for saying that. Match was good. I gave it a C. I liked the post-match, but like I said, those fans chanting wife beater, that was really uncalled for. Next was the Knockouts title match, Su Yung against Ali. Story was Braxton Sutter was there to help Su Yung. Ali put up a fight, and in the end, Sutter tried to help Su Yung, but it backfired, and Ali pinned Su Yung to keep the women's title. After the match, Braxton proposed to Su Yung. Her reply was missed in the face. I gave this a C+. And then the main event, the triple threat match for the world title, Austin Aries against Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. Easily the match of the show. Very, very good match. Told a very good story. Great pace. Very good action. Wasn't expecting the ending that I got. Pentagon hit his finishing move on Aries to pin him. And Pentagon Jr., the new Impact champion. Very good match, like I said. I gave this a B+. Overall, the matches were, for the most part, they were good. You had one bad match, Taya and Kira Hogan. It just didn't click for me. But
is it that Hogan, by the way?
No, not that Hogan.
Okay.
It was just a good just a good show all around. I'm not saying they're out of the doghouse yet from this show, because there wasn't any outside interference, which was good, but there was just a couple things here and there that I didn't enjoy, and God, they got to improve on that commentating team. Josh Matthews, in no way is he a lead commentator. He is nowhere near being a lead commentator. Overall, if I had to give it a grade, I'd have to give it a B, maybe a B- as a show. Alright, well, Fro's got to get to bed, so why don't we do the plugs, because there's going to be some extra stuff coming on here in a few moments. You can follow the show on Twitter at Wrestling Show 11. You can follow me on Twitter at House of Bill.
And you can follow me at Twitter at Bananiskrem, if you know how to spell that in Norwegian.
There you go. Join our Facebook group. It is That Wrestling Show Fan Group. Just type that in the search bar, and you are right there. And if for some reason you can't find it, don't worry. It's okay. Going to put the link in the description box, and you will be right there. Check out the website, thatwrestlingshow.com, And don't forget to visit my Patreon page, patreon.com/Bill's World of Podcasts, where your support, your donations, will help not only this show, but some of the other shows that I do, including Untitled Movie Project, Nostalgia Crew, and Sharks Pond, a South Park podcast. And speaking of Shark... Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to make an insider joke and say, oh, and you need $9,000.
Yeah, I need $9,000, yep. And this week on Sharks Pond, and I apologize that it didn't get put up last week. I was very tired last week. But this week on Sharks Pond, the episode that is going to be put up is The Biggest Douche in the Universe.
Oh, are you going to talk about Joe? Oh! What? I didn't say anything.
That was Fro, not me. I said that. Anyway, also want to plug a couple of podcasts real quick that you guys should check out. Listen to our Vantage Point, the Retro Wrestling Podcast, hosted by Joe Marotta and Michael Quinn. They pop up each and every Monday with their unique take on retro wrestling. A very fun show. I've listened to it basically since almost the beginning of the show's existence. It's a fun podcast, hour and a half each week, worth listening to. And the other podcast that you guys should check out, wrestling-wise, is the Wrestling Podcast About Nothing, starring Ring of Honor wrestler Brian Malonis and independent referee Mike Crockett, who is on an extended hiatus. Have you ever been on an extended hiatus before, Fro?
Yes.
You have?
Yes.
Did not know that. Check them out. They give their thoughts on what's going on in the world of wrestling and share some fun stories about their adventures up and down the road of professional wrestling. Next week, we'll talk about whatever ratings that Dave Meltzer gives the Greatest Royal Rumble event. Plus, we're going to make our predictions for Backlash, because that event is next Sunday, May the 6th. So we'll make predictions on that show.
Yes.
Yes, we are. So,
Yeah.
now, as a special treat to all of you, to end the show this week, we're going to go live via recorded audio to Joppa, Maryland, where I was at the Tribute to the Legends convention and show that took place last weekend. Myself, along with Brian, who hopefully one day will be on the show once his Skype works, and Ed, who has been on the show a few times in the past. We give our thoughts about the conventions, who we met, we shared some stories, and we talk about the show that happened that night. So I hope you guys enjoy our almost 15-minute segment about the day that we had last Saturday. So, for this segment, or this part of the show, you have heard Fro and I discuss the greatest Royal Rumble here on That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where all pro wrestling matters. And what do we always say?
Wrestle on!
Wrestle on into the next segment.
Hey guys, you are listening to That Wrestling Show, as this is from the Tribute to the Legends convention here in Joppa, Maryland. Bill here along with Brian.
Woohoo! Hey everybody at That Wrestling Show. Keeping it real.
Yep. And we're here in between right now, as you guys are listening to this 6 days later, the in between the convention and the show. Show's going to take place in just a little bit, but we had a pretty exciting time here. A lot of people came.
Yeah.
Actually, a lot of people came to our table this year.
Oh, yeah. They did.
Scott Hall was here.
Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac.
Yep. Lex Luger, Mr. Hughes.
Ernest the Cat Miller.
Yep. And there were
Ronnie Garvin, and Nikolai Volkov, and Samu. Head Shrinker Samu.
Yeah. The big headline was Shawn Michaels and Kevin Nash. That was from what we were told. The Shawn Michaels line was ridiculously long.
I'm glad I didn't go for that.
Yeah. But no, it was really nice. A lot of the normal people were here. Our video, High Spot.
Oh, another person was here is Darren Young. He was.
Oh, yes, he was. Darren Young is right next to our table.
Yeah.
We didn't get a chance to talk to him, but he was very busy, with the fans, which, we understand. So, but no, it was really cool. So, we're here right now. Show's gonna be starting in about an hour or so.
And here, I see our friend Ed. He joined us, and as did Stephanie.
Yeah. So we'll have some. You guys probably will have heard the stories by now. So remains to be seen. And here comes Ed now. He's coming in. He's checking on his phone.
Something for that wrestling show, dude.
Oh.
If you want to throw in.
Okay. Yeah, well, we got a little bit of time here, so.
I see, just killing.
Yeah, we're just killing time. So, because I know we get to meet wrestlers. I think, Ed, you did too.
Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah, Nikolai was your favorite, I think.
Yeah.
Nikolai was really nice.
Yeah.
We got to talk to him for about 10, 15 minutes, mostly after everybody left. I gotta be honest, when I asked him for the autographs, I was a little bit scared the way he reacted. He was like, "Where did you get those books?" I was like, "Oh shit." But I'm thinking, I got these from, these packages. I paid for them, And then we started to have a nice conversation. Super cool guy. Scott Hall was really cool.
Yeah.
Glad to see him in good health. Ronnie Garvin was really cool. And we did not know this until, because I talked to him a little bit. He almost did not make it to this because his knee had been bothering him. But you know what? He is one of the toughest guys ever.
Hands of stone.
The hands of stone. And he ended up coming here, and he was awesome. He was nice. Luger was really nice.
Yeah, I noticed he was in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I see him as well. I saw on the table.
Yeah.
While I was guarding him, I'm like, what happened to Luger?
And and I was gonna say this though. Didn't mean to bump him. Yeah, I'm beating up Brian here. No, I was gonna say this to you guys earlier. When we went in the Dunkin' Donuts this morning, there was Luger sitting at a table with a couple other people. Yeah, and I saw him, and I was like, oh man, But I was like, I didn't want to go bother him. So I told him, hey, I saw you, at Dunkin' Donuts, and he was like, oh, you could have came over, you could have said hi. And I was like, really? I mean, okay, because sometimes there are people who want their privacy, and I think we all respect their privacy, but it was nice of him to say that you could have came over. So that was pretty cool of him. He didn't have to do that. Of course, the only one that we did not see that Brian wanted to get was Scott Norton. Yeah, not sure what happened there. But no, all in all, the convention was really well.
The only thing I would say, there were two things that were missing. Bill Apter.
Yeah.
He didn't show. He wasn't the host again, which I was surprised. And there weren't that many women wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. I was like, this well, the other women wrestlers.
Yeah, maybe scheduling was a little off this year.
Because usually it's in September.
Yeah, it's usually in September. This year they bumped it up to April.
Still don't know why.
Yeah. I'm sure we'll figure it all out in the near future. So,
overall, it still was a good convection.
Oh yeah, it
was
is
pretty nice.
Oh yeah,
I enjoyed it here.
Yeah, I know.
My first one.
She enjoyed it. Now Stephanie is our friend. She's a non-wrestling fan, but she enjoyed it. She had a fun time. She ended up winning a TV.
Yeah.
And I also want to give a shout out to my girlfriend Teresa Collier. She was going to come with us, but she had other commitments. And maybe next year I'll have her come over with us.
Yeah. And then I know.
Love you, Teresa.
And then I know Ed. He was brought over this morning by his lovely wife Tony.
Yeah.
Yes,
So
Give a shout out to her
yes,
as well.
Tony, thank you for dealing with what we do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And shout out to your moms, because, without your moms... No, I'm just kidding. No, you know what? I don't have any shout outs, because, the women are trying to come after me, so No, I'm joking. Hope you guys enjoyed this part of the podcast. I don't know if it's going to be in the beginning or the end or wherever. So you'll hear more of us down the line.
Goodbye.
For now.
For now.
All right, so we are in the car. This is starting to become a new tradition, and probably the best tradition of recording in a car. I don't know too many other podcasts in wrestling. Oh, is this guy running a red? No, that's a green. Okay. That will do a show in their car to wrap up a wrestling show. We just left the Tribute to the Legends show. It seemed like, because I know I wasn't in the building or in the arena for most of it, but it seemed like all the faces won tonight.
Yeah. Must have been an April thing.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
April showers bring face victories.
And red at night, sailors light. Red in the morning, sailor take warning.
There you go. I know there were like 2 or 3 moments that I really enjoyed, and then you guys can go in. One was Andy Weinberg, who actually was really funny and had a point tonight. He was talking about, because his man was facing Headbanger Mosh, and he was saying how Pearl Jam and Nirvana are considered classic music, which if you listen to the classic rock stations, they've been playing.
Yeah. Then
he mentions Justin Bieber. Justin Bieber! Okay.
That was hilarious.
That was great.
I can't get angry because I'm driving, so.
Right. I just found it funny that somebody would consider Justin Bieber classic music. Now I guess I'm a little confused because it's like, isn't his music like 15 minutes old now at this point? So
Or like 5 years or something.
right.
3 or 5, yeah, probably 5 years.
So yeah, that was a funny bit. And then for me, the match of the night was the NWA World Title match, Nick Aldis and Brandon Scott. The match should be up on YouTube on the NWA's channel. If it's not, it probably will be soon. Go out of your way. That was a really good match. And we all got to see something I don't think we've ever seen tonight, which was an NWA World Title match.
Yeah. That was a great moment at the NWA World Title.
Mm-hmm.
That was an awesome moment.
Yeah. They're doing a great job, the NWA is right now, with the way they're promoting Nick Aldis as champion and his title defenses. This was his last stop on a 2-month journey, or literally around the world, defending the world's heavyweight title, and he managed to end up keeping the 10 pounds of gold. Ed, you were having a blast.
Oh, yeah. Well, before I decide to discussing about the main event, the last 2 matches were pretty good. I also liked the dance-off between Ernest the Cat Miller and
Greg Excellent.
and Greg Excellent. But one day, I want to see Ernest the Cat Miller and Brodus Clay go at it. With the winner having the rights for the music.
Alright, you hear that, people.
But anyway, as far as the main event goes, it was crazy. I was like, Bruiser was bringing, I don't know who the...
Dante Caponeiro.
Yeah. He was bringing it all in our section. I thought they were going to bring it to the dealer's room area. Mm-hmm. But then they brought it towards my side. I was like, it was all over the back. And then I'm like, oh my goodness. They better not throw me into me. But it was crazy. Never seen something more intense.
It's a good thing you didn't have Brian there, because Brian probably would have offered them a chair to use.
I would. Yeah, that's true. That one time happened.
So, all right, now Brian, you were there as well for most of the show.
Yeah.
What were your favorite
Well,
moments?
the NWA World Heavyweight Title match was great. Let's see. And I think the match between Greg Excellent and Lance Enoy and Ernest the Cat Miller and Ken Dixon. Everybody basically beats up Ken Dixon. So.
Yeah.
Then you have the dance-off, which was awesome.
Ken, you were a former guest on this show. You might want to do a better job next time on picking a tag team partners. All in all, today was a very successful day. Another, Tribute to the Legends convention in the books. I know between the three of us and then Stephanie, who was there during the day, we all agreed we were going to do this again next year.
Maybe we'll get more. We'll get an entourage.
Oh, I know.
Exactly.
Oh my God, that'll be too funny. That's really about it. I can't think of anything else to say before we wrap up for this week. Even though this is being recorded 6 days before the show, but who cares? If you're in the Baltimore area for this event next year, please come.
It's worth going to.
Yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. It is worth.
Hopefully they'll break it back to September, but
yeah.
But I think it'll be okay. This was okay to put it out in April.
Yeah. Just hopefully, next year it won't conflict with any birthdays that any of us have to deal with.
Exactly. Right on.
So, I think we'll wrap it up on that note. Thank you guys for listening to this week's show. Next week, Fro and I will make our predictions for the Backlash pay-per-view, which, well, after what happens with Greatest Royal Rumble, who knows what the card will be there, so on that note, for Ed and Brian, I'm Bill. You guys have been listening to That Wrestling Show, the only podcast where truly all pro wrestling matters. And
Wrestle on!
Woo! Bye.